Alright, retro gamers, I'm making this video because I don't want, any of you to fall into the same bullshit scam that I got pulled into. As you know, this is a Super Nintendo. It's a real Super Nintendo. As you can see, the plastic is starting to discolor. Like, all the different plastics are made at different times and whatnot, so you'll see the plastic here looks good still, but the plastic here and on the bottom you can see that it definitely has some yellowish tint to it. Like if you compare this to this, there's definitely some yellow. But that's not what I really want to talk about. What I want to talk about is I got this by itself. Actually, it came with sorry, it's kind of buried here. It came with this controller, which isn't too bad of a controller. It's a third-party controller. It's made by Reckington, or what, I don't know, some of the letters are missing there. But any which way, it came with this controller, but this controller won't allow me to, it can't be used on such games as NBA Jam, stuff like that, because like it detects that it's not a real controller, so it won't let you use it. So something else that I didn't have when I bought this SNES is I didn't have the power adapter, so I found this. And this works great. It's AC DC universal adapter. You got it for a whole $6. It works for, it says on the front, it says Nintendo, Sega MD2, and Super Nintendo, which I'm only using it for the Super Nintendo, so that's fine, and it works good. It does what it's supposed to. It transfers power to this. But I needed a real controller. So at one game store here in town, they had this. And they had this at another game store, which is where I bought it. I bought it at a game store in Loveland, Colorado called Game Factor. And if you look at the box, it definitely looks legit. You can see the Super Nintendo controller on the back there, looking how it should. And if you read like the side of the box, it even talks about Nintendo of America being in Washington. It has like the address, it has the website. So I thought for sure, this is cool. This is a brand new Super Nintendo controller for like $9.99, so like $10. But once I opened it, this is what I found. Now I don't know how obvious of a bootleg this is going to be on camera, but the first thing that I noticed is this is a sticker around here, and it's not supposed to be a cheap sticker like this. I mean, like, you can actually see the sticker coming up right here. Look, I'm pushing it back down with my thumb. That's really bad. And the buttons feel like shit. Like when I'm pushing them right now, it feels like I'm going to push the button all the way through the other side of the controller. I mean, it just feels like shit. The resistance is just crap. Total dog shit. And then the start and select buttons are made out of a crappy plastic when they're supposed to be like a rubber. And the D-pad doesn't feel too bad. I think it's a little bit smaller than the one on the actual controller. But yeah, the D-pad doesn't feel too bad. The buttons on the top also kind of feel like the buttons on the front, where like they feel like I'm just going to push them all the way into the controller. Now looking at it, you'll see, I don't know, my camera probably won't pick this up, but it says Nintendo Super NES controller, model number SNS 005, and it says RD 1991 Nintendo, and that's bullshit. You can see that well, you might not be able to see, but I can see that the O on Nintendo has like a little schwa on top of it for some reason. If you look at the engraved Nintendo on the front of it, like the O is really close to the D, and it's done in like a slightly different font. And it just really sucks to get a bootleg controller. I mean, it does work, however, I'll give it that. I've plugged it in, I've tested it out on the Super Nintendo, and it does in fact work. But the thing is, you're paying $10 for what you think is this controller right here. And if you look at the two side by side, you can see in the picture it's like the real plastic like it should be, whereas this is a sticker. And you can see see that there's no glare on these buttons, which tells me that they're rubber. as opposed to the glare on these, which tells me they're plastic. Plus I can actually touch these. But yeah, what a fucking scam. And I guess these controllers are going all around video game stores, and especially on eBay. There's like a shitload of them on eBay. And another thing I should mention is the cord is incredibly short on these. And I just dropped my bootleg controller. Get back up there. But yeah, and then this part right here feels incredibly cheap, and it doesn't say Nintendo or nothing on it. It just has like a little blank thing here and a little blank thing here. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know about this before you go out and buy a bootleg controller like I did. So if you are buying off of eBay or even a game shop, make sure that you open it up and take a good look at it. See, because my problem is I didn't open this up in the game store. I just saw that it was a new Super Nintendo controller. I kind of opened it up from the side here. I looked in, and there's some plastic. It had plastic covering it up, but I could see that from the edge of it that it was in fact a Super Nintendo controller. So that's all I cared about. But yeah, I still have the receipt. I'm considering taking it back because I don't want to pay $10 for a bootleg piece of shit. Anyhow, just thought I'd let you guys know. Don't be fooled.